to do a really quick edit of all the videos that I took during Camp NaNoWriMo. And at the end, I talked about my very long TBR list because I didn't really read anything all month of July, basically. I think I finished one book, which is awful, and I'm 4 books behind on my Goodreads reading challenge for the year. So I collected most of the books that I want to get started on in August, and I'm going to tell you about them right now. I'm not going to go through what all of the books are about because a lot of them you've probably heard about, and if I did go through every single one, then this would be a 20-minute long video, and I don't want Lisa to have to edit that, and I don't want you to have to sit through it because I want this to be fast, and then we'll go on with our lives. My first book is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. So basically the vibe I'm getting from this is it's sort of an LGBT spin on Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, because there's like a memory relief procedure that the main character has to decide if he wants to go through. So I'm really excited about that. I've heard only wonderful things about it, and I've promised that it would be the next thing on my list of books to read, which I almost immediately broke because I started other books instead. My next book is Wanderlust, A History of Walking by Rebecca Solnit. I just finished, and by just I mean yesterday because I only had like 20 pages left in it, her book of essays, Men Explain Things to Me, which is really good. She's got essays, the title essay, Men Explain Things to Me, which is kind of a funny satirical look on the way men and women talk to each other and the issues that come up when men try to explain things to you. She has a really good essay on Virginia Woolf in here where she references Wanderlust. When I bought this one, I got this one to go with it because I like taking long walks, and this one's all about the profound relationship between walking and thinking, walking and culture, and it argues for the necessity of preserving the time and space in which to walk in an ever more automobile-dependent and accelerated world. Living in a state where being outside and walking is not very easy, especially during the summer months, and just walking as a mode of transportation is really difficult. Walking just really appeals to me. One of the books that I have started reading is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, or maybe she pronounces it St. John, like in, you know, Jane Eyre. We are reading this for the library book club. It was also a book club title about a year ago in my other book club, and I wasn't able to attend that book club, and so I didn't get around to reading the book. And I'm now about 90 pages in, and I'm really, really liking it. It takes place before, during, and after like a global pandemic called the Georgia flu, and the after portions follow a troupe of actors and musicians who go around in like the new world and perform plays, especially Shakespearean plays. So there are lots of allusions to Shakespeare, which I really love, and it starts off with a production of King Lear when the actor playing Lear dies on stage. I haven't gotten really far into this one yet, but I'm really loving it so far. Another book that I'm already reading, and I got about halfway through it yesterday, is Scrapbook of Frankie Pratt, a novel in pictures. This is by Caroline Preston, and this book is so cool. I passed it by, it was on a display shelf at the library, and I was like, oh, that looks cool, because Frankie is short for Francis, and Francis is my middle name, so I'm always drawn to things that have my name in them, because who isn't drawn to things about themselves? But this book it's literally a scrapbook. It's the scrapbook and kind of journal of a young woman growing up in the 19-teens and 20s, whose name is Frankie Pratt, obviously, and it starts when she graduates from high school. The scrapbook's a graduation present, and she uses her dad's old typewriter, and so the whole thing is filled with memorabilia like glued in, and then she writes things about herself and glues them in as well, and she has like 3-dimensional things. She's got locks of hair and different things, and it is so good so far. She just graduated from college, and she is moving to Greenwich Village in New York to become a starving artist because she wants to be a writer. It's a really quick read. I'm already halfway through it, and it's just fascinating because you can like just pore over every page and look at all the different vintage ads and pictures and postcards and things like that, and you get to hear Frankie's opinions and thoughts on things. The first time I picked it up, I thought, this must have taken forever to put together, and I really I'm curious to find out if the author like just collected memorabilia like this and she just spread it all out and created a story from that, or if she had Frankie in her mind and then went out in search of ways to illustrate the story that she was coming up with for her. So that adds like a second, like a deeper element that's really cool about it. So this is The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George, and from just glancing at the inside flap, it's about a floating bookshop on the Seine in Paris where the owner prescribes books for whatever your needs are in life. My next one is the next volume in the Hawkeye comics. This is Hawkeye Little Hits by Matt Fraction and Dave Aja. I already did a video on the first volume. I'm still really behind on all things Hawkeye. I apologize to everybody who cares and is offended by that. So I will be reading this one as soon as possible. This one I wanted to read during NaNoWriMo because it was really relevant to writing, but I didn't have a chance. So this is The Curiosities, a collection of stories by Maggie Stiefvater, Tessa Gratton, and Brenna Yovanoff. This is a collection of short stories by each of the authors, and they write notes in the margin about their writing styles and why they do things and commenting on each other's writing styles. So this kind of goes back to my annotated book club. Kathleen read this and she really liked it, so I want to read it too. And the sequel's coming out soon, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what the name of the sequel is. Lisa will put up the cover right here. I've been meaning to read this one since it came out, and I regularly tell other people to read it, and I haven't read it myself yet. This is For Darkness Shows the Stars by Diana Peterfreund. This is a sci-fi adaptation of Jane Austen's Persuasion. Persuasion is my favorite Jane Austen book, and I am just really remiss in not having read it yet. I'm very excited. Okay, this was another one that I put on hold and then promptly forgot all about, and then it showed up and I was like, oh, what is this book about? So this is The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. I haven't really decided like what it's about. I mean, obviously I'll read it and find out, but the inside tag is a missing god, a library with the secrets to the universe, a woman too busy to notice her heart slipping away. But then the rest of the description makes me think that this young woman like accidentally joined like a doomsday cult, or she's like, they think of some person as God and then God dies and then they're like fighting over who becomes God. And I could be totally wrong, but it just felt very like Kimmy Schmidt or something. Just all these people were kept here, and I don't know. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll let you know. So this is Gotham Academy. This is by Becky, Cloonan, Brendan Fletcher, and Karl Kerschl. So it's a prestigious private school in Gotham City, and nothing is as it seems. So I'm really excited to get to that. I really like the girls like zip-lining in on the cover. One of the books that has been on my TBR, and I'm reading it right now, so I'm gonna tell you guys about it, is, and I just remembered that I was gonna talk about it, is Clariel by Garth Nix, which I got about a year ago at the Austin Teen Book Festival, and I met Garth Nix, and I love Garth Nix, so this was really exciting. This is the prequel to the Abhorsen series, which is a trilogy and a half, kind of. There's like a fourth book, sort of, that starts with Sabriel. And I love that series. It's so great. The world building is amazing. It's fantasy, and I just love it so much. This takes place a couple hundred years before the events in Sabriel and L'Oreal and Abhorsen. And it's about a young girl who has to move from her town in kind of a rural woody area that she loves, and has to move to the city because her mom has been promoted. She's a goldsmith, and she's kind of moved up the ranks, and she's a really talented artist, and so they've come to the city to kind of pursue her ambition. And she's related to the Abhorsens on one side of her family, and she's also related to the king on the other side. And so she gets really involved in all of the scheming and the machinations behind stuff going on in this capital city, and she doesn't like it. She just wants to go back to her woods. I am like 3/4 of the way done with this, and I will be doing a video about this book. I don't know where I put it. So this was on a TBR a long time ago, and it's on it again because we're adding it to our book club list, but Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas is on the list again, and now I gotta read it because we're gonna meet and have 2 book clubs in 1 month. I think that's it. That's a pretty short TBR, right? I could get all that read in August. right? So that is it for me for this video. You can do all those nice things you can do on YouTube. You can like this video, you can subscribe, you can comment, please comment. Let's have a conversation in the comments. And you can share this anywhere. Just go share. Send it out. But I'll see you next time.